welcome to the Mission Podcast. I'm your show host, Brian Butler. I'm honored to have with me today a good all-around gentleman, a professional. He's helped me in many ways to myself becoming more professional. Mr. Kevin Wassie, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
Brian, I'm so excited to be here. And it's honestly really weird because I'm always on the other side of Welcome to the Mission. So to be on camera is a little bit intimidating, but I've seen what you've done every episode, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Yeah. Well, see, you're a natural. See, Kevin, the camera loves you. So it's going to be perfect for you being on this side of the camera, my friend.
I don't even want to talk about how long it took to get ready for this between my hair, my outfit.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, Kevin, is it really hard being really, 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 really ridiculously good looking? Is that hard for you?
It's a challenge. I really appreciate the Zoolander quote, though. Fantastic film.
Yes.
It's the oddest thing in the world because I don't really think of myself that way. So talking to other people when they make comments about that, and I'm sure, they don't mean to offend, and they never really do offend me. But it's funny to hear that from other folks because I grew up with self-confidence issues, and I don't know, at some point I just started putting a little swoop in my hair, and life changed quite a bit.
Hey, I love that. And when you talk about you grew up with self-confidence issues, as we're headed through the podcast, that's interesting because people looking at you would never even think that you have self-confidence. We all wrestle with our own demons and things that we deal with, but people looking at you from the outside in would never be like, man, this is a guy that has self-confidence issues.
Yeah, and it's amazing all the things that kind of layer and create that. And confidence is like anything else. You have to kind of train yourself to have it, I think. So I love what you do in the fitness world and how hard it is to be fit. And you're certainly way more fit than I am. But confidence, just like anything else, it's a skill you have to work toward. So being comfortable with yourself, finding what your style is, and putting yourself in situations where you can exude confidence over time. It's fantastic.
Yeah. That's a fact. Hey, I got a quiz for you.
Oh, geez.
Because you know how you just said that people will give you compliments or say something to you, but you don't actually view yourself that way. So you don't look at yourself as being super duper duper ridiculously good looking, right? So here's an attractiveness quiz that I'm going to give you, and let's see what your answers are on this. So I'm going to have to put my reading specs on, people. Number one, you talked about this already, but do you get a lot of compliments on your smile and general appearance?
I do. And I would say the two things that I get the most compliments on are my hair. And I do get a lot of smile compliments. But yeah, I would say those are the two areas that people tend to focus on the most. And I need to apologize, Brian, because I definitely got my summer haircut last week. And my barber took off a little bit more than usual. So I usually
we're
a little bit more height, but not today.
Do you find that people gravitate towards you?
Yeah, I think so. I like having a good time. And I feel like when I'm out with, coworkers or friends, there's definitely some excitement, some energy that I try to bring to any situation. So I'd say absolutely. Whatever the highest mark is.
Yeah, I'm giving you a 10 on that. 10 out of 10 on that one. Okay. Do people tend to contact you on social media? Do you get messages or compliments through social media sometimes?
I definitely don't get a lot of DMs, but also I don't really put myself out there on social media. It was really funny at my bachelor party years ago. We went out to some bars in a college town, and they had made me this like paper crown to wear because you see all the bachelorette parties, they have like the all that stuff, and they wrote on this. The joke of the weekend was that if I were single, I would be the king of Tinder. So they had king of Tinder on this crown, and online dating is foreign to me. I have no idea what that would be like. Other than I did go on a date with a girl once who I met on Craigslist way back in the day when Craigslist was, you're not wrong.
My facial expression said it all.
But yeah, so it's a different world dating, I'm sure, in 2023 than it was when I was single. But
yeah, definitely. Have you noticed in relationships with other men, just friendly relationships with men and relationships with people in general, that quite possibly they could show jealous tendencies towards you for no reason whatsoever?
Maybe, absolutely. I would say maybe not jealous tendencies, but I do get a lot of questions about, like, what do I do? My hair is a huge thing. Like, how do you get your hair to stand up that high? I literally talk to other guys pretty shockingly regularly about my skincare routine, which is a thing that,
yeah.
guys don't usually talk about. And maybe
right.
just, in a world of masculinity and the patriarchy that, guys don't feel comfortable talking about this. But I think a lot of my friends are, comfortable talking about that just because it's so dramatic and weird sometimes with how I present myself. So I think that's accurate.
It's accurate. Yes. Love it. That's a yes. So I'm going to say, as a quick tally, you're attractive, my friend.
That is going on the resume tomorrow. It's going on my socials. Yes. And I'm glad that we can scientifically prove this after years of self-doubt.
Yes. Yeah. Now, let me ask you this, though. You mentioned that early on in life, you had some self-doubt and you had kind of battles with self-esteem. But did you notice there was a clear delineation when people started treating you differently or treating you like unattractive? I mean, the study showed that attractive people are treated better in this world. Did you ever notice that?
Yeah, and I don't necessarily feel guilt about it per se, but it's definitely something I've thought about. I've always been very fortunate with employment. I've never had problems getting jobs, and I'm not sure if that just means I have a good resume or if I legitimately just what it is. But it's easy to walk into a situation with lots of nerve-wracking situations like a job interview. I've never had any issues with.
Yeah.
But again, is that self-confidence? Is that outward appearance? I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you believe this, that the way that we carry ourselves and the way that we dress and the way that we groom ourselves is a reflection of how we feel about ourselves?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of self-awareness is something I think about a lot and I talk about with people a lot. Just being self-aware of how others view you and how, even the way that your face looks during a conversation. Are you engaged? Are you not engaged? These things are really, really important. And how you present yourself with the way that you dress and know where you're going. What are other people going to be wearing? How can I be unique and creative with my fashion choices, but also not clash with whatever the event or the activity would be? So it's definitely a challenge, but when it comes to fashion, and I don't think I'm very fashionable. My knowledge is more in the hair area than it is in the fashion area. But just try new things. When you're out at the mall, when you're out at stores, don't be afraid to put on something that you wouldn't want to put on. Look at it in the mirror, take friends with you, kind of have that fun experience of, playing dress up almost, but find things that fit, find things that work for you. And then, social media is a great way to follow other people who talk about fashion. I can't believe how many TikTok videos I come across now. And I think my TikTok knows that I like to see things about fashion. So now it's kind of tailor-made to kind of have people talking about fashion. It's so fascinating to hear not only men talk about fashion, but then on the other side to hear women talk about men's fashion. Because I think we don't make a lot of assumptions about, what are women interested in? What do they think will look good on me? So it's really great to get that female perspective because they'll tell you things that maybe you wouldn't think of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true. And, it's also proven that people make a decision about you within the first 20 seconds. And that 20 seconds, it's about your appearance. It's about the way that you look, whether good or bad. That's just the way that the world is.
And there's no second chances, So I always think about when I have a scheduled meeting, it's better to schedule those things in advance to control the elements you can control, the time, the place, who's going to be in the room with you during these important conversations. Control that narrative so that you don't have to be caught off guard with, I'm meeting this person for the first time and, oh man, I didn't shave this morning, or I was on my way home from the gym. So try to control that narrative a little bit when you can, whether it's something with work, personal, if it's your first date with someone, control that narrative if you can. So there's fewer surprises.
Yeah, I love that. As we chatted, you were telling me that you're down 15 pounds. You lost 15 pounds, change your workout regimen. What are some of the things you're doing?
So this is all from you, Bryant. So we were actually at dinner not too long ago, and I was eating like a hot dog or like 3 hot dogs. I don't know what it was. It was like just super unhealthy. And I looked at your plate, and it's like protein and vegetables. And I thought to myself, man, I got to do something different. So the first thing I started to do was look at labels on my food. And the main thing I focus on is added sugars. And I had no idea how much added sugar goes into the foods that you consume. So for years and years, every single day for lunch, I have a protein shake. So it's super simple. It's like 2 cups of almond milk, a banana, a scoop of protein powder, and a couple spoonfuls of peanut butter, some ice, blend it all up. For years, I've been doing this. It is fantastic. And I looked one day at like, I could do chocolate almond milk, and there were like 19 grams of added sugar in that. And I was like, what am I doing every single day? So I switched to the like unsweetened, no added sugar almond milk, and it tastes exactly the same. Like there's no difference. So like little things like that, and then just being consistent. I'm not nearly as consistent as you are with routines, but doing the small things. So waking up every day, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go for a walk before work. I used to be a runner before I, got a little bit older. My joints don't work quite as well as they used to, but just making sure I'm hitting that 10,000 step mark every single day. And then after I was doing that consistently for a little while, I was like, cool, after I do my walk, I'm going to come in, do some free weights, do some push-ups. I keep a piece of paper in my living room, and every 10 push-ups, I put an X in a box. So I do 100 push-ups a day. Maybe not straight in a row, but I've gone from, it's going to take me like 2 or 3 at a time to 5 at a time. I can knock out 20 at a time now. So just over time, don't need to go to the gym, don't need expensive equipment, just, doing push-ups. It's a huge difference.
You said so many things that are powerful there when we're talking about presenting our best selves. I love that you talked about small things adding up, essentially, and tracking. You got a piece of paper up, and you do 10 push-ups, 5, you mark it. And then you look at it, the accumulation throughout the day is 100.
Absolutely. And I have an app on my phone. I weigh myself every morning. And I know there's different theories on that. You shouldn't weigh yourself every morning, but it's the thing that gives me consistency. So if I see a little spike in my weight, then I'm like, oh, I need to do better today. And I can reassess my choices today based on what I'm seeing on the scale. So, and even, I know weight's not even a perfect indicator. So once a week, I do body fat percentage to make sure I'm trending in the right direction. Making sure I'm consuming enough protein, so I'm not just eating away at my muscles during kind of the weight loss process as well. And it's been fun. It's been fun to track it, and I really enjoyed the app that I use and how it kind of shows the changes, and it makes predictions. You can set milestones, so it's been a lot of fun doing that.
And I love that. Make it fun.
Make it fun. And the biggest challenge is people give up before they see any results. Like people think that nothing's changing because they don't see it immediately. And you're your own harshest critic. So you're not going to notice that your face is getting slimmed down a little bit. You're not going to notice that you're losing some of that belly fat. But if you can be consistent over time, you will see those results. Just the other day, I saw someone like, oh, you're looking a little bit skinnier in the face. And I was like, thanks. I didn't think so. I didn't think that was happening, but someone else noticed it and pointed it out, which I really appreciated.
Man, the power, compounding power of just consistently doing something.
And when you get Brian the motivator motivating you along the way, it really helps.
I try, my friend, and it does make me happy when people do tell me that I'm supplying some type of motivation and in turn using some of the tips or tools and then putting those into practice.
I see it with just in our friend group, Brian, like our friend Devin. I know recently when we were on a business trip, he was at the gym every morning, with his obsessed shirt, just ready to go. And there it is. And so it is. You definitely see the impact that you do have on people with this podcast and with all of your content.
That's beautiful because it goes into environment and who we keep around us, right?
Yep.
You have helped me in the fact that I was once afraid to even push a button on a computer. People that know me would know this. And it's like, dude, just try. Press a button. See what happens.
Absolutely.
It's not like you can't undo it.
A lot of the things that I do. So I don't know if we even said this yet, but I'm the editor of this podcast for you. So
that's
on the back end, I'm the one. You do the interviews.
The true talent.
You send me the files, and we chop it up. We do all the overlays of the logos and the music and stuff like that. And none of that stuff is what I went to school for in college. It's stuff that I enjoy doing, and I've learned how to do it by watching other people who are really successful, who are willing to share with others how to do these things. So it's amazing what we can find on YouTube and on TikTok. And if you're willing to put in the time, I've seen massive improvements in like the year that we've been doing this, Brian. I'm way better now than I was at the very beginning, but it's amazing what you can learn if you're just willing to try something new. And whether it's in fitness, whether it's in your career, don't be afraid to put the time and effort into it, and you'll see the results over time.
Hey, Kevin, in our closing, can you do us a favor and just give us a little bit of your skincare, hair care routine and some tips for like men like myself who just kind of roll out of the bed, throw a t-shirt on and go. And some tips for us. How can we be better?
Yeah. The most amazing thing the most powerful tool in my arsenal is just face wash, and whatever you're doing in the shower isn't the thing you should be doing to your face, in my opinion. So whether you got that bar soap, whether you've got that loofah and that body wash, like that's all great. But before you get in that shower, I highly recommend just going to Target, Walmart, go to the men's section and find just a simple face wash. And take the time to just wet your face, wash it with face wash before you get in the shower. It makes a world of difference. I couldn't believe like my massive nose. I get blackheads occasionally. And just, in a few weeks of doing that, the pores get smaller. You see a huge difference. Yeah, absolutely. And then don't be afraid to get some moisturizer for your face either. So it's definitely something after I shower, throw some moisturizer on there. You can get great moisturizer with UV protection as well. So you start your day with some moisturizer, but you're also getting some of that protection from the sun's rays in the moisturizer as well. And then same thing right before bed. Just, again, some face wash, dry it off, moisturize, makes a huge difference. Jump on TikTok, find some videos, look into it, and don't feel like, oh, I can't do this because of X, Y, or Z. Whether that's I can't do that in the gym because it's going to be embarrassing to go to the gym and do a certain thing, or it's embarrassing to wash my face because I'm a big tough guy. Who cares? Have great skin. You only get one chance at this. So take care of it.
That's right. That's right. Anything that we didn't talk about that you think is a key that men, people in general, just need to be doing, period, that I forgot to cover?
Just learn to be comfortable with yourself, whatever it is. And again, you might not have hair. I've made a few cracks about my nose being big. I have no control over that. And I'm not going to pay to change it. So it's outside of my control. So control the things that you can control. And just things you can. Be yourself and try new things. It's okay.
Try new things.
Whether it's fashion, whether it's routines with skincare, whether it's fitness routines, don't just do what you've always done. Because that's how you end up wearing cargo shorts from 2005 on your first date with someone who doesn't go very well.
I love it. And on that note, my friend, thank you for being on Welcome to the Mission podcast.
Absolutely. And I am obsessed with the mission, Brian. So thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
There we go.